Hey, what's up? I'm Sam from AI for Marketers, and today we're gonna do a super interesting video I was not planning to do. But here's the deal. All my friends know that I have this channel and that, I'm super into AI. And even though in the Silicon Valley / tech bubble, everyone knows about AI and everyone knows about the technical terms of how to use these tools, most people around the world are not familiarized at all with the normal, not even technical terms of AI. I'm not talking like engineering terms or anything like that. I don't even know those terms. Sometimes I have friends that are like super cracked engineers and they tell me like something I don't understand anything they're saying. That's a bit normal. What is not normal though is that I was telling my friend something the other day and I said, let me prompt you with something. I said, let me prompt you like with something, and he didn't understand what I was referring to. And he's studying philosophy, so he's not super into tech or super into AI. He barely uses GPT. And I'm so into the AI culture both professionally and socially that I didn't get how he didn't know that word, because it's prompt, right? Like prompt. I use that word daily. So I was in a meeting with my editor Jose, and I was telling him that most people don't know about these terms, and he told me, why don't you do a glossary? I was like, okay, yeah, why not, right? And it's a great idea, right? There are some concepts in any industry that you need to grasp in order to get in. And with AI, there's a lot of terms that are not super common that, need to be defined. And that's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna translate all of these super complicated words and concepts into plain, normal English. So I really hope you guys like it, and remember that you can send this video to someone that is a beginner in AI. I'm even gonna send this one to my grandpa. So yes, I already prepared the terms, and you can go in the timeline if you want to know the specific definition of one of them. Okay, so the first one is prompt. Of course, that's by far the most used verb in this industry. It's the way you interact with an AI is not by telling them something or asking them for something, you just prompt them. And prompt is a necessary word because it does not mean do me a favor, but it also does not mean do this, right? Is that do this nicely? Is that do this please, right? But just an ask. A prompt, and this is a definition by GPT, is what you tell the AI to do. It's like asking a question or giving an instruction. You type in what you want and the AI responds based on that. For example, if you want the AI to write a story, you give it a prompt like, write a story about a hero in a futuristic city. The correct definition is the instructions you give to an AI. Policy about this new verb is that it involves everything, right? You can prompt an AI to write a story, to make a video, to make an image, and then of course there's subdivisions of prompts, right? For example, we're gonna talk about that later, but you can prompt an AI to create an image by saying imagine. And why is that? Because the first image generation model that was released to the public was Midjourney's, and the way you prompted to Midjourney to create an image was with /imagine. So now when we want an AI to create an image, we just say imagine. The second one is probably my favorite. It's called fine-tuning. In the words of GPT, is when you take an AI model that's already been trained and make small adjustments to improve it for your specific needs. It's like taking a recipe and tweaking the ingredients to make it just right for your taste. Now, fine-tune is these weird engineering concepts that a lot of engineers like to use, but now it has evolved into something that a lot of people have in their vocabulary. It basically means tweaking or giving form to something. I just imagine it when you're playing with clay and you give form to the raw clay into a cup or a plate. Because when you're prompting an AI, what you're doing is you're fine-tuning it. You can not only fine-tune a model, you can also fine-tune your outfit, your hair, or a situation. It's this weird word that you can use for just giving form or adjusting something. It's a pretty cool word, probably the one I use the most. And also, by the way, the one that people that are not AI natives don't understand. So if you don't know what fine-tuning means, that's what it means. Generate. When the AI generates, it creates something based on your input. You give it a prompt and the AI produces an image, a piece of text, or some other result. It's a process of turning your request into a final product. That's basically it. What you do to an AI is prompted, and what the AI gives back is a generation. LLM is a super important word that you need to know. It's large language model. These are basically all the underlying technologies and systems that are powering most of the AI tools today. In GPT's words, is a huge AI system that's trained on tons of data, like books, websites, and conversations. LLMs are really good at understanding and creating text because they've learned from so much information. Tools like GPT use LLMs to have conversations with you and answer your questions, and are the ones that are being used the most by all of these companies. Model, super important word that people throw around all the time. Basically short for the LLM. The concept has evolved into meaning something like a subdivision of an AI. So for example, in ChatGPT, we're now using 4.0, right? Like this response was by the 4.0 model. But if we go here and we see like the different models, the different subdivisions, so the different features that ChatGPT has, we see that we can play with GPT 4.0, GPT 4.0 Canvas, O1 Preview, O1 Mini, and more models here, GPT 4.0 Mini, GPT 4, and before that we had GPT 3.5 Turbo, GPT 3.5, GPT 3, and so on, right? So basically the model is the subdivision of intelligence you're using inside a tool like this. Input. Input is what you give the AI to work with. It could be a sentence, a question, an image, or any other data. For example, if you type "What's the weather today?" into a chatbot, that's your input. But like "What's the weather today?" is not like a direct, prompt because you're not giving instructions directly. You're giving them in terms of a question. So we classify all types of requests in like this word input. Output is the result you get from the AI after processing your input. If you ask for a weather report, the output is a weather forecast the AI provides. It's whatever the tool generates from your input. Super clear and simple. Dataset. This one is super important. A dataset is the collection of information the AI learns from. It's like a big database of examples, text, image, or data that teaches the AI how to respond. The better the dataset, the smarter the AI. The selfies or any input you give it before creating your actual AI photo is the dataset that model used to generate your cool new image. Training. Training is how the AI learns. It's the process where the model goes through a huge dataset to understand patterns, language, or visuals. So in the prior example, what the AI is doing with your selfie dataset is training so that it can produce the best, new image. Prompt crafting, or just crafting, is the skill of writing the perfect prompt to get the best results from the AI. The more specific and clear your prompt, the better the AI's response will be. Think of it like giving clear directions to get exactly where you want to go. I always just type anything, but remember, the better the direction you give to the AI, the more accurate the response will be. So if you want something specific, no matter if it's like a video or an image or like, text, a paragraph, you need to be specific with your prompt too. You need to give as many details as possible in your prompt. Variation is when the AI gives you multiple versions of the same result. For example, if you ask it to generate an image of a sunset, it can give you several different sunsets. It's like getting different options to choose from. This applies the most in image generators like Midjourney. For every prompt you do, you usually get 4 results back. And the word to define the differentiation between those results is variation. Reroll. This is when you don't like the AI's first attempt and you ask it to try again with the same prompt. It's like saying, let's give it another shot. And like I use this on a daily basis. I always say like, let's reroll. Aesthetize. This is when you want the AI to apply a certain look or feel to its output. If you're generating an image, for example, you might ask the AI to aesthetize it like a painting or a comic book. It changes the overall vibe of the result. This not only works in images. For example, I really like how Naval Ravikant or Sampar or Scott Galloway write. So a prompt I usually use, especially with writing tools like GPT or Claude, it's aesthetize in Sampar's voice or in Scott Galloway's voice. You can also do it for video, not only with the visual aesthetic, but also with the director's style of shooting. So you can aesthetize to make it anime, but you can also aesthetize to make it like it was a Tarantino movie. Chaos. Chaos controls how random or unpredictable the AI's output will be. Low chaos means the results will be more predictable and similar to your input. High chaos adds more randomness and creativity, so you might get some surprising results. And this works for any AI. If you want the thing to be super creative, you need to add chaos. Sometimes these models are so well trained that they give the most vanilla answer always. Especially with visual ones, And when you're at the first stage of the creative process, you want to add as much chaos as possible, because then you can pick the one you like the most and fine-tune it into the thing you want. Token. A token is a small piece of data that the AI processes to understand and generate text. In language models, tokens are like parts of words or phrases. So basically, in any model, tokens is a different way of saying credits. Imagine, I talked about this before, it's a specific type of prompt to create visuals. So a prompt can involve different verbs, but imagine it's specific for making images. This is especially true in Midjourney and GPT. I don't know if it's like a general thing of any software. So instead of make an image, you can just say imagine this, and this. Okay, so this is the last one, sref. I don't use it a lot, but a lot of my designer friends use it. It means source reference. It's when you give an AI a piece of information to base its creation on, like a reference, an image or text or video. It helps guide the AI in creating something closer to what you're looking for by showing an example of a source to follow. So how I define it is just, in a specific part of a dataset. But let's say that you want to create an image based on another image that you've generated before. You would use that original one as the source reference to create this new one. But actually it sounds kind of cool, so I'm gonna start saying it. I know that this video is kind of different from the other tutorials, but I think it's necessary. So, if you liked it, please leave a comment and a like and subscribe. And if you want to see another video, there's one right here. And if you want to see all of our tutorials, right here.